This is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good Friday morning, everyone. Glad to have you with us. I'm Jacqueline Matter.
I'm Ray Collins. I smelled some smoke in downtown Sarasota today.
I did. When I walked out and got into my car, I could smell it. Not so much where I live in South Sarasota, but once I got here to the station, I could definitely smell it.
Something's out there. Let's go to the scientist. John Scalzi, any answers in your
Yeah,
phone?
that was me catching fire yesterday after a 100-degree daytime high temperature.
Okay, good.
Unbelievable.
I know.
I don't know. The newsroom has no reports of any additional wildfires, so I assume it was that large fire in Manatee County. General easterly wind flow transporting inland wind from inland air to coastal regions, so I assume that's what it is. We're looking at across the region, some pretty quiet conditions currently. No raindrops on the forecast maps for the morning hours, but by afternoon, maybe a slightly better chance of a little bit more moisture working its way in here, maybe enhancing rainfall chances just a little bit. 100 degrees yesterday, 1 degree shy from an all-time record for any day of the year in any time in history. Pretty remarkable for this time of year. Today, it's going to be another warm one. Daytime highs getting up into the mid to upper 90s once again. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Manatee County checking smooth right now this hour of the day. Farther south now into Sarasota County. I think we saw some red lines. Yeah, first off, I see the one on the interstate, northbound, just north of Bee Ridge. Also one on Bee Ridge heading toward the interstate, and also a little squiggly line there. We'll call that the Bayfront, where it 41 goes down toward the Bayfront past the Sailor and Nurse statue. We'll slow down there right now. And farther south in Sarasota County, we'll check that. A little slowdown off 681 coming from 75 at 5:02 on this Friday morning.
Topping our news this morning, thick black smoke could be seen for miles yesterday from a 5-alarm fire at a tire warehouse in Bradenton.
As our Rick Adams tells us, it took firefighters hours to get that blaze under control.
This was the scene Thursday afternoon. Heavy smoke and lots of flames destroying hundreds of tires at Callahan Tires on 12th Street Court East in Bradenton. Workers from the tire warehouse tell us the fire most likely started on land next door to their business, destroying a bunch of vehicles and a small building.
It was a loud explosion. It sounded like almost a car blowing up. And so I know they have cars inside that building. They do like mechanical work there and stuff.
For workers at Hughes Plumbing Supply, this was a frightening ordeal for them. Their building sits right across the street from Callahan Tires.
We just heard a big boom noise go off, and we looked over, we didn't see much, and then we kind of went back to pulling and just kind of looked back out, and all of a sudden there's black smoke everywhere.
We were shocked at first, what something like this could be happening right next to us.
Fire officials say the fire started around noontime, forcing the evacuation of nearby homes, businesses, and a preschool. A warehouse worker and 2 firefighters suffered minor injuries. More than 100 firefighters from Manatee and Sarasota counties battled this 5-alarm fire for hours. There were also many other county agencies on hand to assist.
They all responded very quickly. I think the first initial fire engine was on scene within minutes.
In addition to having to fight this fire in extreme heat and windy conditions, firefighters were also dealing with some environmental concerns.
Because of the runoff of the water with the oils and other chemicals that those tires give off that we got to capture so it doesn't start polluting the stormwater system.
In Bradenton, I'm Rick Adams, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
And developing overnight, a 4-alarm fire in Sarasota burns 4 units of an apartment complex just off Fruitville Road. The fire broke out around 8 p.m. at the Fair Oaks Apartments on Barlow Avenue. It began in the attic before spreading into one apartment. Crews were able to put out the fire within an hour, but there is no word yet on if anyone was inside at the time. However, the Red Cross is assisting the 4 families that have been displaced. And an update now on that wildfire that has burned 3,500 acres in Sarasota County. The Florida Forest Service says the Rain Tree Fire in Northport is now 80% contained. Crews from Florida and South Carolina are continuing the cleanup process and also maintaining the fire from spreading. It first broke out early Saturday in the RV Griffin Preserve. The cause of that fire remains under investigation. In Nokomis, a pipe break causes a sidewalk to collapse, leading to major traffic problems yesterday. According to the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, the intersection of Laurel and Albee Roads functioned as a 3-way stop while crews worked on repairing that pipe. Florida Power and Light shut down power at the intersection for about 8 hours overnight, but everything is expected to be back up and running this morning.
We are hearing now from friends and family of two teens who were hit by a car on Siesta Drive in Sarasota. Police say the accident happened Saturday night when a 15-year-old girl and 16-year-old boy were trying to cross Siesta Drive. The victims' families identified the girl as Erica Ross and the boy as Matthew Batchy. Ross was seriously injured and is still in the hospital. Batchy's family tells us he sustained brain injuries and passed away Wednesday morning. A memorial for Batchy is planned on Siesta Beach Saturday night.
His presence it was always with you no matter what, and I just feel like it never left. He's just so young, he had so much to look forward to, and in the blink of an eye, it went away.
Police say the driver is being cooperative. No charges have been filed as of this point. Another driver escaped with minor injuries after hitting an alligator on I-75 in Northport and flipping her SUV. State troopers say Jennifer Rosinski of Broward County hit a 9-foot gator on the interstate Tuesday night. She lost control and flipped several times. Luckily, she suffered only minor injuries. Suspense is building for Sunday's big debut of the Diverging Diamond near Lakewood Ranch. The $74 million project has been under construction now for nearly 2 years. It'll include a major shift of lanes. The project is 80% complete, but enough for workers to begin the new pattern starting this weekend at I-75 and University Parkway. This will be the state's first diverging diamond.
Happening today, after 4 days of testimony, the jury in the Andres Avalos murder trial is expected to hear closing arguments before the case is handed over for deliberations. The defense calling 4 witnesses to the stand on Thursday, including a radiologist, psychologist, and neurologist, as the defense tries to convince the jury that Avalos suffers from a psychological disorder. Using a PET scan as evidence, they claim he has an abnormal brain. The psychologist says he suffers from delusional disorder, which causes paranoia, leading him to believe his wife was cheating on him.
He maintained that that was the case, his belief that here's his enemy, she's not respecting him. He's feeling like she's not afraid of him, he's not being taken seriously, and basically I think he snapped and lost it.
Avalos waived his right to testify, saying it was out of respect for the families involved. Attorneys will be back at 8 a.m. this morning for closing arguments. The judge expects the case to be turned over to the jury for deliberation around noon. The mayor of Northport, Linda Yates, is now calling the city attorney's future with the city into question.
As our Christopher Brantley tells us, reaction is mixed.
This is not the first time Linda Yates has had a problem with the city attorney, Mark Moriarty. Back in 2015, Yates told us she was worried Moriarty was overstepping the mark.
We do need to address the things that the public is seeing or has concerns about, whether it's confusion, clarity, wherever that lies.
The concern then was about additions to city ordinances commissioners didn't ask for. Moriarty said he was just following commission instruction. 2 years later, Moriarty is again in hot water. This time, Yates is calling for him to be fired.
When it comes down to sitting up there with our commission, there is a lack of trust between our commission and our attorney.
Justin Willis is a Northport resident. He attends most commission meetings and has been concerned about Moriarty for some time.
Are we leaving things out that should be guarded? Are we allowing things to happen that shouldn't be happening at all?
We asked Mayor Yates to go on camera to explain her position. She declined, but Vice Mayor Vanessa Carasone did.
I don't know if I would say that I don't trust him. I think the question should be, is he competent?
Vice Mayor Carasone said she does have some concerns with Moriarty, but she doesn't think firing him is the way to go.
This commission truly needs to tell the city attorney what is it that we are having a problem with, have it in writing, and give him a certain amount of time to actually address it.
Moriarty isn't the only one having an issue. General Services Director Robin Carmichael was let go by the city manager. It seems there may have been questions surrounding what her job really was.
I wasn't truly sure whether that was a position that needed to be there or not.
Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
So the commission will discuss the city attorney's future at their next meeting on Tuesday.
A Sarasota man faces aggravated battery charges this morning after police say he threatened, tied up, and beat another man with knives and chains. Last Friday, Sarasota police officers responded to Mabel Longway for a report of a robbery. Police say near that area, Lamar Morris told another man to go with him to a shed. Once they got inside, Morris asked him where his stuff was. He then used a chain to tie the victim's hands behind his back and also wrapped a chain around his neck to the point where he couldn't breathe. Morris eventually left and the victim was able to free himself and run to a nearby home.
Developing overnight, a Sarasota man arrested earlier this week for trespassing on a school property is back behind bars on much different charges now. Aaron Talley is now facing charges for 3 counts of child pornography. Detectives say they found Talley downloaded 46 files containing child porn. They found the IP on his computer was connected to the home where he lived. They executed a search warrant and found 3 images of child porn on Talley's computer. He was arrested and taken to the Sarasota County Jail, where he remains without bond. Earlier this week, he was arrested for trespassing at Riverview High School.
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office gets another victory in the ongoing fight against the opioid epidemic. A Bradenton man is under arrest after several drugs were found in his home. Detectives obtaining a search warrant for Eugene Betancourt's home on 19th Street East in Bradenton. Small amounts of heroin, marijuana, methamphetamine, fentanyl, and several other substances and drug paraphernalia were recovered. He's facing 11 charges, including 3 counts of sale of methamphetamine, possession of heroin, and possession of marijuana. And as that fight against the opioid crisis continues here on the Suncoast, we're now getting a better idea of how federal funds to address the issue will be distributed. Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan says the state's distribution of federal anti-drug funds will help Sarasota, Manatee, and Hillsborough counties fight the deadly heroin and opioid epidemic. The new funding was allocated to 7 groups selected by the governor to distribute a total of $18 million for treatment of people with substance abuse problems. Roughly $6 million will be divided among 14 counties, including Sarasota and Manatee.
And who needs hospital signs when you can find an app and you get your way through the hospital? Sarasota Memorial Hospital just spent $30,000 to develop a new app called Wayfinder. It'll also cost an additional $14 million to maintain. It allows people to use their phone GPS to navigate inside the 1.5 million square foot hospital. Officials say the app is still much cheaper than the new signs they were going to put up. That's been some really nice signs.
Wow, I'm serious.
Neon,
my
flashing.
goodness.
That's interesting. It's kind of like a virtual reality game type deal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's a good idea. I mean, it's a good idea in the malls even.
Right.
So
How many times do you walk around and get lost like that?
Imagine though in the hospital, where's my phone? Okay, let's see where the restroom is. There's no signs anymore.
Yeah. I still like the volunteers though, the little human interface.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Yes,
It's kind
just
of
ask.
nice. Yeah, and they're such nice people. So we are looking at some very warm weather again today. 100 degrees yesterday.
I know.
100 degrees.
Yeah.
That's remarkable for this time of year. Really remarkable. And the drought continues to expand. Talk all about it in just a few.
Also still ahead, a preview of some fun ideas this weekend here on the Suncoast.
And a little later in the hour, the latest from Washington on President Trump and the ongoing Russia probe. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
Drive into Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota and discover big savings during the Drive and Discover event. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers, or stop by today and drive away in a 2017 Jeep Cherokee for just $18,999. And for a limited time, get America's best value, a new Dodge Journey for as little as $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Wow. 77 degrees already, the air temperature, and the dew point solidly in the 70s. So it feels very humid, very sticky out there, and that humid feel is going to last right into the weekend. In fact, the moisture is probably going to increase as we get a little bit of a surge from the southeast across the region, which is good because that's going to help enhance our rainfall chances a little bit. But man, warm temperature continues. 100 degrees yesterday. I keep saying that. I just wrap my head around that figure of 100 degrees at this time of year. We've had some temperatures that warm in July and August, but not this time of year. 75 degrees in Parrish, Bradenton. Wauchula coming in at 74, 75 in Arcadia, Myakka, 76 degrees in Northport, and in Inglewood, and in Venice, and in Longboat Key. 77 here in Sarasota. Everywhere is warm. The drought indexes continue to rise. The numbers came out yesterday afternoon, and the drought area indicated here by red in extreme drought has expanded across the state of Florida. Excuse me, expanded to where this week it covers about twice the real estate that it covered last week. So it's expanding fairly rapidly, actually, now encompassing most of Hardee and DeSoto counties. Across our region, well, the good news is that really dry air that has been locked in place over the state of Florida has been compromised just a little bit. You can see the brown contour kind of decreasing a bit. The high pressure ridge is going to be nudged further out into the Atlantic, and that will allow for a little bit more moisture to work its way northward at mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, also at lower levels of the atmosphere. So the combination of that deeper layer of moisture through the column of the atmosphere is going to help produce a little more widespread showery activity. Is it going to be a tremendous amount? No. But we'll be able to raise our rainfall chances maybe another 10%, maybe another 15% as we head into this evening and tomorrow as well. Double barrel low pressure area is putting the weather under the gun for parts of Texas and Oklahoma again today. Particularly this area could see some really rough weather. As these systems advance east, our high pressure ridge is nudged out into the Atlantic, and that allows for that moisture surge to occur. It's minor, but it'll help, and that'll happen later on this afternoon. Models are in pretty good agreement about that. We'll look for our rain chance to be at about 30 to 40%. Hot weather continues across the region. We'll have better rain chances today, and this very warm trend and muggy trend will continue right into the weekend. As far as any kind of cold fronts arriving, no, it's not going to happen. This one is basically going to eventually fall apart. Storm outlook calls for the possibility of some thunderstorms today across much of the Florida peninsula, and even the panhandle of the state has a good chance of that as well. So that is an indication of increased moisture supply, but really it's back to the west where the bullseye of severe weather is located. Our satellite view shows a little bit of high feathery clouds across the region. We have this trough of low pressure in the upper atmosphere helping to kick off this cloud cover. It's not going to be really thick, but it may lower our temperature 2 or 3 degrees today, hopefully. As far as any kind of rainfall being produced right now, we're not seeing that. Everything is pretty quiet after yesterday's showers, which basically hugged the coast. Today's showers will probably occur a little further inland. Watch the rainfall futurecast. We get some scattered showers in all of our viewing counties a little bit later on today. Some of the rainfall could be heavy at times. That goes away, and then tomorrow we'll have another good rainfall chance day, I think, as we head into the afternoon. The sea breeze might be a little bit closer to the coast tomorrow afternoon, however. So the forecast looks like this. We'll call for a daytime high that tops out, generally speaking, around the 30 to 40 degree mark. The rain chance, 30 to 40% over the next couple of days. Daytime highs will top out in the mid 90s, and then maybe we'll be able to reduce our daytime highs a little bit next week. Back to you.
John, taking a look at traffic this morning, not a whole lot going on in Manatee County, really just some congestion on 301. But as we head into Sarasota County, looks like there are a few accidents across that area. Also some slowdown towards Clark Road and also towards the bay over by the statue as you head throughout that area. As we take a look into South County, let's take a look at the maps in that direction. A little bit of slowdown as you're coming off 75 onto 681. But other than that, looking pretty good on your morning commute.
It is Friday, May the 19th, and you've got plenty of choices in the area this weekend.
That's right. ABC 7's Linda Carson has more in your Suncoast scene.
This stage transforms into a magical wonderland in Once on This Island. It's now playing at the Venice Theater, and it will be here through Sunday, May 21st.
It's a Caribbean retelling of The Little Mermaid based off the Hans Christian Andersen book. It follows the life of a young girl, Tamoon, and her journey to find love and all the obstacles that get in her way.
Denisha Carr plays the lead.
Her name is Tamoon, and she's an orphan, and she falls in love with a rich person from the island, and their two worlds are never really allowed to mix. So it's all about how she deals with that love and how that love affects her.
The author, Rosa Guy, set the story in Haiti. Christopher Getty plays one of the gods of the island.
In Haiti, lots of the voodoo culture is so prevalent. She decided to add the gods, and Papa Gay is actually a conglomeration of a few of the gods in Haitian literature and Haitian religions. But he's the god of death and fertility.
Once on This Island at the Venice Theater. And this weekend, the first ever St. Norman Seafood and Music Festival. 2 days of great food and some of the best live bands on the Suncoast. Bands like Twinkle and Soul Rock Radio and Jaw Movement and many more. And it's showtime at the Players Center in Sarasota. The Players Kids, 38 kids ages 8 to 17, will take the stage and entertain us.
We are doing The Lion King Jr., which is based off of the full Broadway show, so it's a smaller version of the show, and it's coming up this Saturday, May 20th, and Sunday, May 21st.
These kids are incredible. They're artists. One of the great things that we've got to explore with Lion King Jr. is you can't move like a human, you gotta move like an animal. So the kids are learning modern and African dance techniques on top of jazz.
And the brand new Sarasota Festival of Vocal Arts is making its first appearance ever at the Oslo Rep this weekend.
The Sarasota Festival of Vocal Arts was a brainchild of ours to present works primarily in English or in English translation.
That's Friday and Saturday nights at 7:30 in the Cook Theater at the Oslo Rep. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
And one other free event happening on the Suncoast this weekend. There'll be live music at Fisherman's Village with a variety of bands throughout the evening in Punta Gorda. That runs from 5 to 9 p.m. at the newly remodeled Center Court. Lots of stuff to do on the Suncoast, but it's going to be hot out there, so bring some sunscreen and some water.
So a seafood festival in St. Armands, you're going to go?
I think I might have to get out there. I love seafood, so that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, all right, see you there.
Well, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the man who filed a lawsuit against his date for texting during a movie, well, he's now dropping that suit.
And later, new developments in the case of the Tennessee teacher accused of kidnapping his 15-year-old student.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Nobody beats Subaru in service, quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALG named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $229 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
What Florida city is best known for spaceflight?
Cape Carnival.
Cape Carnival? Close enough. What condiment includes vinegar, molasses, and anchovies?
Westchester sauce?
Close enough. And now, a word from our sponsors.
One-off from the Florida Lottery. Now available for pick 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. Miss by one on any or all numbers and still win.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small,
I mean, really moves me.
one.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High-performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
Welcome back. Friday morning, 5:27 right now.
Well, it seems like there's always a new update to some sort of social media app, and Facebook joining on that bandwagon, putting an update to its home screen for Messenger.
And I love this story, and I know you do too. The guy who filed a lawsuit against his date, who he claimed was texting, he's now dropping that lawsuit.
In today's Tech Bites, a new look for Facebook users.
Changes are coming to Messenger. New features include tabs on the top of the screen to view messages. The bottom of the screen will have sections for people, calls, and games.
Facebook says the changes will make it easier for users to connect.
Google's emojis are notoriously unpopular, but that's also changing. The blob face designs are gone, replaced by squishy circles.
The company spent nearly 2 years redesigning the emojis. The full update set to roll out this summer.
And we have an update on that lawsuit stemming from a bad first date. So after meeting on the dating app Bumble, you remember this guy sued his date because she texted during the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Well, he was seeking the cost of the 3D movie ticket, $17.31. She held her ground, but finally decided to pay him back.
$17. Please never bother me again. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a good one.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Charmin.
Before we hit the beach, I gotta hit the loo. We can't stay here.
Why?
Terrible toilet paper. I'll never get clean.
Way ahead of you, Big Daddy.
Charmin Ultra Strong. Its washcloth-like texture helps clean better. It's 4 times stronger, and you can use less.
Beautiful view.
Thanks to Charmin and you, Honey Bear.
Oh, we all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Allergy symptoms distracting you? Doctors recommend taking Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief. Claritin provides powerful, non-drowsy 24-hour relief for fewer interruptions from the amazing things you do every day. Live Claritin Clear every day.
Guess what? When you come to Burlington, you don't have to get a coat.
I'm buying shorts here, dresses,
Sunglasses.
fitness, great bags.
For the garden.
All the name brands at a fraction of the cost.
Burlington has so much more than coats. They sell coats here?
The Alfa Romeo Quadrifoglio charmed us all and crippled the competition. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabein.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Alfa Romeo got a lot right with the Giulia. But the handling alone is sufficient reason to get one. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
This half hour on Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump heading overseas to meet with foreign leaders. We'll tell you about his Q&A session yesterday with the press.
Plus, a suspect in custody this morning after plowing into over 24 people in the middle of Times Square.
And plans for another bear hunt in Florida are put off. We'll tell you why next on Good Morning Suncoast.
Live from the ABC 7 studios, this is Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Good morning, 5:33. So I played tennis yesterday, got a little bit rained out, that's fine. Riding my bicycle back from Payne Park after the rain, mosquitoes, millions of mosquitoes. My eyes, mouth, that's the downside to rain, I guess, these days.
I guess so. I've been seeing a few of them out and about as well.
A few mosquitoes, yeah. Let's go to our scientist down the corner. I guess it makes a lot of sense that after rain, you get a lot of mosquitoes flying around, right?
Yeah, it's always the case, isn't it? It's a kind of a double-edged sword. You definitely need the rainfall to help with the wildfires, but you know, you sure don't like to see those mosquitoes come. We're just, I guess, starting into the mosquito season now. You know, with summer around the corner, start building those swallow nests, I guess, is the thing to do. A little swallow birdhouse. We have across our region now some quiet conditions. The radar not showing a drop of rain around, but that'll change later on today. Slightly better rain chances this afternoon, which is, of course, a great thing. We will see a little extra cloud cover as well. So hopefully that'll keep down the temperatures a little bit from what they were yesterday, which was 100 degrees. So hopefully we'll put it in the mid to upper 90s today. That sounds much better, doesn't it?
All right, John, we'll talk to you soon. Let's check the Suncoast traffic right now as you wake up on this Friday morning. You see some sort of icon right there at Cortez where it bends toward downtown Bradenton. We'll check on that shortly. That's not too far from where that fire was yesterday, actually. More on that coming up at 6 o'clock. Otherwise, checking now into Sarasota County, we'll find out what's going on in that area. We've got some buildups already on Clark Road, especially coming and going on Stickney Point. For some reason, is already quite busy leaving the beach at this hour of the day. Perhaps a construction project slowing things down right now. And then farther south in the South County maps, we'll see not much to speak of at 5:35 on your Friday morning.
Here are some of the top stories we're following for you on the Suncoast this morning.
The cause of that massive fire at a tire warehouse in Manatee County sent thick black smoke into the air. It's still under investigation, though. The 5-alarm blaze broke out shortly after noon yesterday.
And happening today after 4 days of testimony. The jury in the Andres Avalos murder trial is expected to hear closing arguments before the case is handed over for deliberations. Attorneys will be back at 8 a.m. this morning for closing arguments. The judge expects that case to be turned over to the jury around noon.
And Suncoast Congressman Vern Buchanan says the state's distribution of federal anti-drug funds will help Sarasota, Manatee, and Hillsborough counties fight the deadly heroin and opioid epidemic. 14 counties total will split $6 million.
Topping our news this half hour as President Trump prepares for his first official foreign trip while he's still dealing with a rough week right here at home.
For the first time, the president responded to an FBI special counsel. The latest from Janae Norman.
The president is sticking to his guns, insisting the FBI's investigation is nothing more than a witch hunt, even as members of his own party aren't sticking with him.
The entire thing has been a witch hunt, and there is no collusion between certainly myself and my campaign.
I think this is a serious investigation.
He's entitled to his opinion. I would suggest to the president that one has been appointed, honor that decision, cooperate where it's appropriate.
Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, the man who appointed the special counsel to take over the investigation, was on Capitol Hill briefing all 100 senators on his decision.
To make certain the American people felt that this was going to be handled fairly and justly.
Meanwhile, on the other end of Pennsylvania Avenue, the president was asked during a news conference whether he tried to get former FBI Director James Comey to shut down his investigation into fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
Did you at any time urge former FBI Director James Comey in any way, shape, or form to close or to back down the investigation into Michael Flynn? And also, as you look back...
No. Next question.
The answer setting up a showdown with Comey, who reportedly took detailed notes of his conversation with the president before sealing his fate with this testimony Trump vented about.
It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election.
That was a poor performance. I believe that's why the Deputy Attorney General went out and wrote his very, very strong letter.
The president has admitted he was already planning to fire Comey regardless of Rosenstein's recommendation. And as Comey is invited to testify before Congress next week, this controversy is likely to follow the president on his first trip abroad. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
And speaking of that trip, he'll make stops in Saudi Arabia, Israel, Palestine, and the Vatican. He'll also address the UN-NATO alliance in Belgium.
After a car hit nearly 24 pedestrians in the middle of Times Square, a man is now in custody. New York authorities say formal charges against Richard Rojas were filed Thursday afternoon. Police say the 26-year-old was the driver of the car and was speeding when he struck 23 pedestrians. 18-year-old Alyssa Elsman was killed in that accident. 22 victims were taken to the hospital with multiple injuries. Rojas was taken into custody at the scene. The 26-year-old has been charged with murder, 20 counts of attempted murder, and 5 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide.
The man who helped create Fox News, only to resign in disgrace last year, has passed away in Florida. Roger Ailes had just stepped down in July amid a series of sexual harassment allegations. His family says he died after injuries from a fall at his new mansion in Palm Beach County. He was 77 years old.
An update now on the Tennessee teacher accused of kidnapping a 15-year-old and taking her to California. A federal grand jury is charging Tad Cummins with taking a minor across state lines for sex as well as obstruction of justice. A federal judge is ordering that he remain in custody until his trial, calling him a flight risk and a danger to the community. He was arrested last month after nearly a month on the run with 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas.
3 workers were injured after a fire broke out during a conference at Google on Thursday. One of those victims has life-threatening injuries. The fire began in a concession area of an amphitheater. The event is an annual developers conference. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Can you imagine that? The mood must have changed. I doubt that's the amphitheater, but we don't know. They're at a conference one moment, at a break at the concession area, and a fire breaks out.
Yeah.
And one's in serious condition suddenly. Wow. All right, other news now. Surveillance video from a Pennsylvania school shows an employee in Pennsylvania lifting a student off the ground by his neck.
Bob Hazen has more, as that man is now facing charges.
In this new video, you can see the 13-year-old boy's feet dangling as he was lifted off the ground and carried down the school hallway. The man grabbing him identified as Joseph Golden III, a behavior specialist at the Rankin Promise School, his hands around the boy's neck. His lawyer says Golden was doing his job.
The kid didn't go to the hospital, he didn't go to the doctors, he told the principal he wasn't hurt. This isn't a simple assault.
Golden was in court today to face charges of endangering the welfare of a child and simple assault. He covered his face with a folder and climbed a hill to avoid us. Rankin Promise is a Woodland Hills school to teach kids with behavioral issues, and surveillance cameras inside captured this video. Golden's lawyer says this came after the boy repeatedly disobeyed directions.
This young man left class 2 or 3 times, and he returned him 2 or 3 times. And then finally, the kid just says, well, I'm going to do what I want.
Even though the boy was not hurt during this, Woodland Hills officials have vowed to fire Golden based on this video.
Where's the line? We let the students do whatever they want. They talk back to the teachers, they MF the teachers, MF the security people, and we're supposed to say that's okay.
As of Thursday, Golden was still on suspension from the school.
3 people are recovering this morning after falling from a Ferris wheel at a festival in Washington State. A fire official says they were all in the same cart when it abruptly flipped, sending them in the air and down 15 feet. They landed on that metal casing that supports the Ferris wheel on the ground. All 3 were taken by medical helicopter to a hospital in Seattle. The fire official said the 3 were a 70-year-old woman, a woman in her 40s, and a 6-year-old boy. Their conditions remain unknown at this hour.
With hurricane season just 2 weeks away, the Florida Fund that helps private insurers pay out claims after a hurricane is in good shape. Estimates by financial firm Raymond James shows that the Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund will have more than $17 billion available this year. This is the second year in a row that fund has more money than it would need to pay out if storms slammed the state. The financial health of the fund is also important because the state can impose a surcharge on most insurance policies to replenish that money if it runs out.
State wildlife officials are saying they will not hold another bear hunt for at least the next 2 years. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission wants people to better secure their garage so fewer bears will stop in neighborhoods. One way to do this is to have more people use bear-resistant trash bins. During a demonstration, FWC showed 2 bears trying to open a trash can filled with donuts for over half an hour. No success. Officials hope that over the time these trash cans will become more normal for residents to have. The FWC received $825,000 this year to help residents in 11 counties get those garbage cans that are resistant to bears.
This equipment is expensive, and over time, what we're hoping is the more equipment that's out there, the more folks realize this is working, and the counties or the cities can actually incorporate that into their next waste management contract.
I don't know, those bear-resistant cans, I would still get into those cans if there was donuts inside.
For donuts?
I was going to say the same thing.
Well, coffee as well.
Right? That sounds good about right now on this Friday.
Yes. You'd think they would have filled them with bear claws.
Bear claws. Very nice.
Oh my gosh. That was a good one, John. Good one.
Honey, something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I guess that's the way to go, right? To keep them away from the food sources of the general population.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, good idea. Nice weather if you like, really warm temperatures. Better rain chances, though. We'll talk about that in a second.
All right, well, still ahead, are teens putting themselves at risk of heart attack and stroke because of salt?
We'll have the story next in Health Smart.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. We're monkeying around with Palm Harbor primates. Plus, we'll salvage Field Trip Friday and Snook Haven in the kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View. They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call and price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables and still costs up to 50% less. Featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under bed night lights, and more. So call and price one today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You've got to see how little they cost.
Call 1-800-774-8103. That's 1-800-774-8103. Call now.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's no small wonder anybody loves it all.
I just love art that moves me.
No small.
I mean, really moves me.
One.
Sunset Fiat of Sarasota presents No Small Wonder. High performance style. Let the art of Fiat move you.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
We start off the morning way above average in our temperature with 77 degrees, almost 80 degrees, with a dew point value of 71. Feels kind of sticky out there. East wind coming in at about 11. You're smelling smoke in the atmosphere out there this morning. The winds that transport smoke generally have been blowing out of the southeast. So probably the rain tree fire, maybe the fire in Highlands County kind of combining together. There's a bunch of fires still out there, bringing that smoke in across the region. The ability of the atmosphere to kind of dilute itself and mix itself is kind of low during the overnight, so any smoke that's in the atmosphere kind of stays trapped there. The good news is that with a little daytime heating, we'll see that mix away pretty quickly and that smoke smell will go away. 75 degrees, Wauchula, Arcadia at 76, so's Myakka Parish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch at 77, so's Northport. 76 degrees in Inglewood, Venice, Longboat Key, and then Punta Gorda coming in a little bit cooler with 74 degrees. We have across the region a lot of dry air still. That's indicated by this tan contour on the water vapor imagery. But you'll notice in the last few frames how it's kind of shrinking. Its grip on us lessening just a little bit. A little bit more moisture is injecting and lifting northward. So I think that we have a better rain chance today. Not a great large a better rain chance, but a slightly better rain chance. Maybe by about 10% or 15%. So rough weather back to the west. Again today, severe weather is certainly possible in parts of Texas, northern Texas into Oklahoma, around this area of low pressure. This system will gradually drift eastward. As it does so, our high pressure ridge kind of retreats a little bit. So its grip on us lessens and our ability to produce rain also increases. The sea breeze front will be a little bit more active today, so showers may move a little bit further inland. Areas inland that did not see any rainfall yesterday, maybe today you'll see a little bit. Hot weather continues, though, no doubt about that. I bet you we break a record again in Sarasota today. The daytime high temperature record is 95. We're going to get very close to that, if not exceeded by a degree or two. And that trend will continue into the weekend with those warm temperatures around. We'll look at rain chances going up to about 30 to 40% for the next couple of days and maybe on Sunday as well. And temperatures next week may be a bit cooler. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, John. Let's take a look at Suncoast traffic this morning. Looks like there is a little bit of construction work throughout between 301 and over towards State Road 70. Looks like traffic other than that looking pretty good in Manatee County. A little bit of slowdown throughout Sarasota County on Clark Road as you head towards I-75. Also on 41 as you're heading south. As we take a look into South County, a little bit of congestion on the roadways, but nothing really to report on your Friday morning.
Curious why there's so much beach traffic right now.
I know. Everyone's got to get there. It's getting hot out.
Yeah, that's true. Health Smart now. Consuming too much salt is bad, even for teenagers.
Kim Hutcherson explains in today's Health Minute.
Adolescents who consume too much salt can damage their blood vessels in ways associated with cardiovascular disease, according to a study by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Specifically, teenagers and adolescents with higher than average sodium consumption showed signs of hardening of the arteries, a known risk factor for heart attack and stroke. Researchers examined 775 participants at an Ohio Children's Hospital who self-reported their diets. The elasticity of the brachial artery in the upper arm was measured, along with blood flow in the body. Results showed that teenagers who ingested more salt had less elasticity in that artery. Another study, the National Health and Nutrition What We Eat in America survey, found that the average sodium intake for teens aged 14 to 18 was more than 3,500 milligrams a day. The recommendation for most people is only 2,300 milligrams a day. While salt is essential for keeping our bodies functioning properly, too much can be bad. So even teenagers should keep an eye on their salt intake and lay the foundation for a long and healthy life. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
How are you with your salt intake?
I hear not good, too high.
Really?
I used to eat out every night for dinner until I got married. Now Erin cooks so well.
Well, look at her, taking care of you.
Oh, she's wonderful. Yeah, we know that.
Well, still ahead, one company paying tribute to former Vice President Joe Biden.
They're saying thank you with a sweet tooth. We'll explain after this.
Fresh out of the box, the Alfa Romeo won us over. We went in skeptical and left in awe of this gorgeous machine. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
I'm Alan Cohn. Pick your bombshell. President Trump giving classified info to the Russians. Reports he told the FBI to back off Clinton, and now a special prosecutor.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Drive into Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota and discover big savings during the Drive and Discover event. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab for as low as $24,999. Or get more legroom and maximum comfort with a new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota flooring.
And for a
limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59, ceramic tile 99 cents, and 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents, but these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
It does things that seem impossible, feeling like it could change direction while airborne. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Former Vice President Joe Biden's enthusiasm for ice cream has been the subject of countless humorous social media posts, and now Biden is getting his very own ice cream flavor. Cornell Dairy is creating the vanilla-based chocolate chip-filled ice cream ahead of Biden's speech at Cornell later this month. According to the Cornell Daily Sun, old-fashioned chocolate chip is Biden's favorite flavor. Students will then vote on a name for the flavor. Out of 150 submissions, the list has been narrowed down to 5 possibilities.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
Sir?
Spumoni.
Ooh, good one.
Coffee.
Coffee ice cream.
Coffee ice cream.
Delicious.
Get my fix that way.
Huh.
Yes.
Milkshakes too. Any
Oh,
flavor
yeah.
of milkshake is fine with me.
You know what? I'll take any ice cream, to be completely honest.
This is the weather for it.
We are going to update the weather forecast, traffic, and local news. There's a lot of it next. Stay with us.